Township of Cohasset, second regular monthly meeting, January 17, 2017. Testing. Sir.
I'll call this meeting to order at 7 p.m. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided to the time satisfying the requirement for the Open Public Meeting Act. If we could please stand for a silent prayer and flag salute. I would just ask that we have the moment of silence for the prayer in honor of Dot Widener, who's been a township resident for a very long time and has just recently passed away at the age of 102.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could I have a motion to approve the December 6th meeting minutes?
Just Councilman Ortell.
Second.
Okay, Babinski, Ortell will abstain, Slack, Vangelli,
Yes.
Kern.
Yes. Motion to pay the bills presented in proper form signed by the director of each department and approved by the majority of the members listed on the bill list. So moved.
Second.
Okay, Babinski, Ortell, Slack, Vangelli, Kern.
Yes. We're just going to make a brief an amendment to the agenda. I'm just going to have Catherine Windsor come up right now to do a brief presentation from Tilton Technology on behalf of Verizon. So, I don't know if you wanted to say a couple words about why what you're looking to do. Well, the microphone's right there, so they can pick up. Okay, go ahead.
Don't mind me standing. Mr. Mayor, council members, thank you so much for allowing me to come to you tonight. I appreciate the general and I also appreciate you accommodating me and meeting me at the front of the agenda, so thank you very much. As Mr. Mayor said, my name is Catherine Windsor. I'm with a company called Tilton Technology, Verizon Wireless. Tilton is basically a subcontractor for Verizon Wireless. We are the implementation arm for Verizon Wireless. So we are working on a project for them, the request you have for us. To give you a little bit of the background as to why we're doing it, what it entails, etc. Verizon Wireless really prides itself on having fantastic customer service in terms of network reliability. It's something we very much take great pride in. And they have been working on this project for, I would say, a little over a year, a statewide initiative. And the reason they're working on this is throughout the state of New Jersey, they've identified particular locations throughout different locations in the state, including Essex County, where there is a, for lack of a better word, there's a drainage on the network at a particular time. The fancy term is called sector exhaust. What it really means is that at a given location, for instance, if you have a decent sized town, or even if you have, for instance, a main street and you have a bunch of businesses there, and you have a lot of people using their phones, their Wi-Fi, we all have multiple cell phones nowadays. We have tablets, we have laptops, we're all very wired. And we think that's a great thing, but it does something also for human nature. It puts a strain on the network. So what happens is once there's a strain on the network, it compromises the network. So when you have this strain, it may, for instance, to drop calls, or it may mean you're looking at your phone and you have 4 to 5 bars. If you try to make a call or receive a call, it won't go through. That's because this is their exhaust. There's a compromise on the network. So people are using the network at this time. Even when you upload video files and download music and sit down and play Pokemon app, it puts a lot of strain on the network. So Verizon Wireless is looking to remedy network sector exhaust, if you will, by installing what are called small network nodes. They're small pieces of equipment. It's a bit of an issue. They're about 20 inches by 55 inches. I would say small because the big macros, cell towers, the equipment for those, it's small in comparison. So these small network nodes, about 20 to 55 inches, go on utility poles in the municipal right-of-way. They're very much have a very focused and targeted line of sight. So they go in specific areas where the sector exhausts have a range of, it depends on the particular landscape or skills or whatnot, if it's flat, generally between 500 to 1,000. So they're really meant to address specific network gaps. I may use an analogy that I think is a good visual. Imagine if you have a glass vase. You have big marbles, big marbles in the glass vase. The big marbles are the big macro, the big cell towers that you see that way. We'll put more marbles in, you still have these gaps. It takes up a certain amount of space, but you still have these gaps. These small network nodes are meant to fill in those gaps. For instance, if you touch sand and you put it on top of the base, it's smaller, finer particulate, and it needs to up the remaining space. The wave analogy, that's what these network nodes are meant to do. They're meant to really address the network sector exhaust of the network at particular locations in the township. Now, what am I doing here before you tonight? It's really a two-step process, if you will. Tonight, I'm here asking for a general, non-site-specific right of consent just to operate in the township's right-of-way. What does that mean? It does not allow us to go construct anything. It doesn't allow us to go build anything. It doesn't really allow us to do anything other than to get site-specific information from our engineers, radio frequency engineers. They're the ones who are analyzing all the data in terms of customer complaints, in terms of their own internal information as to where these sector exhausts are occurring. Once we have the site-specific information, we would reach out to the township's building department. We would apply, we'd find out whatever permits people building electrical, we'd apply for the permits, pay the fees, provide certificate of insurance. If there are any lane closures, for instance, traffic, we do all this. We work with the building department very, very closely. And the building department has some discretion. If they decide and they say, this will work, that's fine. We'll work with you. So the township certainly has discretion, absolute discretion in that regard. So that's the second step, is the site-specific application. This is what we're here tonight for. It's just in general, Verizon can operate in the right-of-way. Again, it doesn't let us build anything, it doesn't let us construct anything, it doesn't let us do anything other than continue to get the information from RF engineers. And once we have that, then we work with your building department, WC. Brief overview, hopefully not too much complicated or technical, or undercomplicated or technical. Any questions?
I'll make the motion that we give Verizon permission to operate in our right-of-way.
I just have one question.
Yeah.
One question is about all of them was the literature sent around the request indicated that in no electric or the on-body controls are not unfamiliar for one of their so there's going to be requesting installation of new walls by taking to accommodate.
So that's a bit of a nuanced answer, if I can. Verizon's procedure and their preference is always to utilize existing whenever possible. That's what they want to do. They identify the sector exhaust and start looking at the particular areas. First and foremost, they're looking at the that's their first preference. If for some reason the existing do not work, for instance, if the utility company has restriction on a particular existing pole, for instance, and then I'm making a hypothetical, there was significant bracing work done on it, and say they disqualified us. We would then look to other existing poles nearby that would accommodate radio frequencies, engineers, objectives. If at that point something cannot be found, then Verizon Wireless may take an application to whatever provider in the township to set a new pole. Verizon Telephone does not own poles, it doesn't have, that's not what we do at all. And we will follow any other procedure, Verizon, I apologize for Verizon, we follow any other procedure in terms of the new set. We may make applications, put in license and all that. What we would be doing in that instance would be requesting to attach the new set. We ourselves self-assessment. And again, this is only after we pretty much ruled out any possibility of existing in that particular facility.
Yeah, and just related to follow up on what you mentioned, was then the question would be, if you were making requests to JCCNL, does JCCNL not JCCNL any municipal consent? My general understanding, frankly, was, well, these many years, municipal authorities, they had basically a blank right of way. Blank easement to the road, right away. So I don't know if I remember actually seeing any requests for locate people from a particular spot. I just wondered, do we have any restriction there? That was the only concern that I had, or what, I don't have somebody, polls going to be somebody $1,000 or something, and I want them on the box, something like that. Is there any control over that or not?
First of all, we're not going to anybody's backyard. The right away. There could theoretically be an instance where we would be using somebody's private property, but then that would be a lease. We would be negotiating for an opportunity. So first of all, we would not be going on anybody's property.
No, I was just more like, public right of way, right on somebody's yard.
Right.
Loophole, kind of.
A couple answers to that. We've got actually run into that. I'm not sure if it was GC, and also, I apologize, I'm not sure if that was a provider, but that similar scenario. And we of course, we work, our goal is to work with the municipality throughout the entire process. We're not going to just use that without talking to you. So if it was absolutely necessary to have to give a consent, we would certainly work with the municipality. We did have an instance where we could apply to a utility, and I don't remember if it was what it was. And the municipality said, you're looking to go in front of a homeowner who pays a considerable amount of taxes. And they were not particularly happy with it. And so we worked with the municipality to come up with an alternate location that would still achieve Verizon's objectives, but not necessarily be in a position that the township would be compromised. So to speak, we don't want the township to be unhappy. We don't want your residents to be happy. We're really trying to do this for the benefit of the residents. We don't want your residents mad at us.
And I think too, just in the dialogue that we've had, Verizon has been agreeable to working with where town feels that there's inadequate spots, and the police department for the issue, because our department does use Verizon for the cell service, and I think moving forward that may be the method of communication as opposed to radio. So I think that this could potentially help.
And also, I know in general, for some reason, the county engineer's office was concerned with the ordinance, and they had, for something like that, to get more information from you guys, but they said, seems like sense to me,
Is it an ordinance or resolution? Yeah, it's a resolution.
They actually made this was the county.
We haven't ordered Warren County yet. We're going to start it, and we haven't ordered. It could have been. There are other providers.
Second provider.
Yeah, that could very well be. And if I can add a little bit more to that, I can't really do Jason and I'll see if I haven't read the very thoroughly, but I know Verizon's telephone, they set a goal to have the ability to successful maintenance. So I know they have some franchise amendments, all these municipalities. And if I haven't read registry with township, but at a minimum, for instance, Verizon telephone, have that notice whenever they're sending it. So I imagine some similar provision to JCCM or KCG. I would think there would at least be notices from the township. And as Mr. Mayor was saying, I've actually worked with a couple other municipalities where they tell you when the residents have a meeting and said, hey, we like the request, and then we tell you, location X, Y, and Z. Every time we try to make calls, they're dropped. I was able to get that information back from Verizon, and now it's on the network known as those applications, but they're under one million or calls for that location. So I know Mr. Mayor was saying about the police department. I would be more than happy to pass the information along and see what we can do about that website.
We have restrictions on telephone calls, like cell phone.
I don't think we don't have an ordinance. We don't have an ordinance for sale, and that's the.
I know ones are like they came out of the pole is 1 feet higher than all the other ones going down the street. Yeah, go ahead.
Probably for the military services, but probably like a year, right?
but one of the things that has been brought up by many municipalities, if you have a particular first state of the city in a town shelter, you're not going to violate that street space. We would never ask utility to put in a 60-foot pole. We would maintain the townhouse street space. We're not changing in that regard. If you have a particular area where you want underground, we're not going to ask, to put a pole there. We're just not. You guys are not us. We don't want that. So we're very, very looking to every township's particular space.
Another thing too, I want to point out to you guys as a council, and I think that comes with a resolution as well. A resolution is basically something you have to do for us to do it. The only caveat that you put some reasons and restrictions on consent. The only one I can think of would be, we would want to notice that you poll proposing poll location. I think that's going to be one of the big things in our issue.
We're not setting.
I was okay with one resolution the way it was, I just wanted to ask those questions, so you know for future reference, should we have to be aware that there is a new poll location in the light.
You go to the documents and you do the installations,
That's probably Jason.
Usually we, particularly local traffic department, police department want to work with us and want to be able to provide certain amounts of oversight. So we haven't been, asked to provide just our own as we've been in conjunction with the particular municipalities, police department. Understood, and we would certainly be very sensitive to that. We run into that in other municipalities as well.
I made the motion. Second it?
I'll second Sal's motion.
Okay, motion second.
Okay. Can I just ask a question? You're referring to a resolution. Is there a formal resolution that it's in the packet? Okay, we can include that in the minutes then? Yeah, and so we're doing that, and I will call the roll. Babinski?
Yes.
Ortell? Black? Angeli?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes. We're good. And what we'll do is we'll put some info out online if people have, quite like about where some spots are, and we'll filter that onto you guys. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
I just have the Word one. I don't have I have a bound one. I'll have to type it.
Okay, now we'll go back to the regular meeting. Public comment pertaining to agenda items. Any public comment on any agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move on to the attorney's report.
Mayor, not a lot between last week and this meeting. Judge Miller hasn't proposed to participate in our group. Housing. Depending on, once we settle on a planner, we can maybe start the process of trying to see where we are in terms of any potential settlement with that thing. So that's the total update. I did do a draft of the ordinance that's been discussed on the agenda. Discuss that briefly. That in there, that's the Peter radio communications ordinance. And
To that, I think you made a good point on current buildings. And I reached out to Frank Lee on that, and maybe, maybe send out. Yeah, we're gonna end up switching it, yeah, because. It's pointless. Yeah, so this can, and I like your point that maybe involving some of the business owners to at least be aware of it. I can't see anyone against it, but, that's probably something we should do, so. No.
I just think I think that's it.
Anyone have any questions for Kevin? Right along.
Okay. So the DPW report, as you probably figured out, they've been a little busy. They have salted roadways at various times during the ice and snowstorms that we've recently had. We washed the equipment after each storm, replaced various warning signs and chevrons throughout the township. Put reflectors on all guide rails around the township. We serviced several trucks. And checked out a sewer problem at 1402 South Main. Kevin, you wanted maintenance expenses on Post Boulevard, apparently?
Yes.
Yeah. You have to out there. I said he said he could cop.
Yeah, he put it.
Oh, it's up here, oh, here it is, all right. Yes, I have. Yeah, those roads haven't been accepted yet, so, just like last year.
Yeah,
we'll
they're
do it.
right.
Yes.
Anything on that 45,000 on, you know, from that FEMA?
No, I received the email before last meeting.
All right.
Direct deposit. The letter went to one step, so it's all carried over.
Okay, so somebody follows up with that, or?
As far as I know, it's a check is issued.
Yeah. Did you ever get a chance to figure out how much money you got from the equipment sale? No?
No, I put a call out, and I answered that call.
The call. Did we get some money? Oh, I mean, the sales, yeah, okay. That's it.
Thank you. Bill?
Municipal reports. A traffic complaints issued at 190 for Cohasset Municipal Court, 190, and the total complaints disposed of 246. They put the municipal treasurer $8,600, $86.4270, and the basic complaints of 98 and 41 disposed of. They also did municipal court, and there was 240 traffic complaints disposed of and 18 criminal. And they deposited municipal treasurer at 4544. Our judges are going to be in both courts within the same time frame, except for a couple more hours. And hopefully, this place will, the revenue will increase.
Great, thank you, Bill.
Yeah, I don't know if they're here or not, what about the salary? We'll get
Okay,
into
exactly. We'll move on it. Yep. Dave?
Environmental Commission, Matt, reworked, we adopted our EDD for 2017 published. We accepted, Dr. Hernandez's resignation as chair, and voted on appointing Eric Sean on as the chair for this year. I volunteered to serve as vice chair, and Eric's absence today arrives. Talk about getting more involved with the community, trying to get out and educate. We're talk off possibly maybe trying to organize with downtown lessons for the community day, while we're done. Maybe in the fall, as things cool down. Talk off to see if that had a possibility. We talked about community garden, the upcoming garden season approaching. Other than that, that's not anything really else. Brought up. The police forward for December 20th to January 16th of this year. The police department responded to or documented 986 incidents. The department issued 213 traffic summonses and generated 17 criminal charges. The criminal investigation unit opened up 25 new cases. The department investigated 26 motor vehicle accidents, The department sent an officer to the Stepping Stone School to discuss driving safety with the students that are getting close to driving age. The department participated with the Warren County Prosecutor's Office in discussing the dangers of drug use for the 8th grade students at Ohio High School. And that's all I have with the police report. Who says they were going to deal with the judge's issue.
Yep.
Other than that, there, I don't really have anything else to add, other than to ask, is our four-wheel drive truck back up and running, Steve, or not? I don't know, Don, did you get back yet? Not yet. Any anticipated?
Couple of weeks, yeah.
All right, you guys got any of the smaller ones?
So far,
We've got a lot of, a lot of them. Okay. That's all I have.
Thank you, Sal.
I have to meet with the gentleman from Jersey Central about a light at 519 and 627. The dam is done in Warren Glen. If any of you have time, go back there and look. Planted trees and made it great for the fishermen. There's going to be a lot of fish in there, and it's great. And it looks beautiful. The bad news is, we're going to need a lot of money this year in the budget to repair this building and parts of the township. And I mean hundreds of thousands of dollars. We need a vapor barrier in here. I'll tell you what, it's gonna be costly. Okay, that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Sal. I just have a couple things. You all are in receipt of a letter from the state of New Jersey, from the acting director of the Department of Environmental Protection and Natural Historic Resources, Fish and Wildlife, in reference to the Albert Vineyard back and forth with Holland Township, and summarize they have essentially referred to the Warren County Board of Agriculture, but they've also pretty much outlined what they think without saying as much, and what the state will do in their fashion by not really giving an opinion, but alluding to the fact that their complaints are unwarranted. So that's nice to see that the state has sided with one of our businesses in that matter. As Kevin stated, there's an ordinance on the agenda for establishing radio equipment for some of the larger structures. We have to amend structures in the township for buildings like the Walmart and Stop and Shop. We have to amend that ordinance tonight for a first review, or can it be reviewed or changed at the second reading?
We can introduce some first reading once, I think that was a substantial edit of just a generic version that's frankly circulated. One, because I talked to the clerk this afternoon in Mansfield, and she sent me a copy of what they adopted, and they simply put a title that says Mansfield on the form and adopted it without any revision. So it references generic agencies with no description whatsoever. So I kind of modified our incorporating chief of police, so if you have a loop, I set up the definitions rather broadly in terms of what a building is, but then I exempted out residential dwellings, exempted out all agricultural buildings, and exempted, this was out of their system, any building that's 35 feet or less, and is not constructed primarily of concrete or steel, which I guess is primarily the problem with the radiant interference. So we can either introduce it tonight, or we can already send it down to Tony Scazzaro and over the land use board. I haven't set it up as a land use ordinance. It's in our general legislative section, which I think is appropriate, but, it still might be nice to have that input, any thoughts they have. And the other thought, like we did with the, security ordinance, we kind of sent it to all the affected business owners to see if they had any input. But we could do that before, after first reading, whatever your pleasure is. And if there's amendments, we could just set second reading out a little bit if you want.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
I mean, you don't have to have second at the very next meeting. You
Yeah.
have to have, 2 meetings from now, as long as we pick a date now and just let the public know what it's going to be. Or we can just circulate before we introduce, wherever your pleasure is.
I'd be okay with introducing and then seeing what kind of feedback we get. But, I appreciate the changes we made on it, so that.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see, as I said, Mansfield, I said, they've had that on the books since 2015, I think she said. And they haven't had one, Peter put in, and they have all those buildings out there, so, because they exempted all existing buildings, and they have to wait around for, some type of change in use or zoning amendment before they're gonna pick this up, which makes no sense to me. If it's a health and safety issue for our first responders, it's kind of something to try to see if we can take some action on sooner than that, so. And I think it is, we can retroactively apply health and safety types of ordinances like this. It's not like a land use ordinance where you're grandfathered. It's a health and safety issue like this, which I think it seems fairly big. We can slowly implement this, not that we can't give people time. We also know there's some timeframes on this thing too. I think I have, there's testing requirements. If we go to the Walmart or some other large structure and we're having radio communications issues, the police department is probably the first people to know that. We can have a test within so many days of the ordinance, and then if it's a problem, we kind of put the burden on the property owner to set up some type of repeater or antenna, and then to provide us with the testing with respect to that. And I think that's appropriate, but, it's not something we have to hit them over the head with immediately. But, so, it's a good working draft. It's up to you guys what you want to do with that on social media.
Okay. All right, well, that's all I have. There we have several items for executive session. The other thing I wanted to do too is I had sent an email to the different parties involving the development of the fields behind the school, with reference to the rec and the Board of Education. The only thing I had cautioned to them is that we don't want to get into a point where we're purchasing anything yet until we have some type of funding mechanism, and then we know what the land is like back there, because I don't want to get in a situation where we have a property that can't do anything with. So I think the best thing moving forward is to have a subcommittee meeting, two on our board, two on the school board, and two on the rec association, just to have a constant work meetings so that we can move forward on this with the anticipation that we can potentially have something on the ballot for November. But we can follow up on that next Wednesday back on the Board of Ed. I think they meet next week.
Mayor, the rec association was supposed to be here.
They can't. They had to cancel. Something came up. Rwanda,
Yes, sir.
something. Yeah, they sent an email this morning. Well, let's see what the school board wants to do, and then we can set it up. But yeah, definitely. Thank you. And that, do we want to move forward with these resolutions? Anyone have any issue taking these together?
we make a decision in executive session on salaries or whatever, does that become a resolution also?
Well, I think we have to get a separate salary, like,
Separate entities?
for the, you're talking about like contractual employees?
Yeah, the judge.
The judge?
Yeah.
We would come back out here. and-
Just make it a resolution.
Yes.
Okay. So we can do this together.
Okay.
I'll approve that.
We have a motion on the floor to take all the resolutions together.
Okay, Councilman Ortel seconds. Okay, Babinski?
Yes.
Ortel? Slack?
Yes.
D'Angeli?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes. Ordinance 17-02. What's everyone's thoughts on this? Moving it for first reading?
And also, it's up to you guys. I'm just gonna say, if we do move it on first reading, Wanda, we could set a second reading return date, maybe, 2 or 3 meetings out or something.
Do you want to do, all right, the next one is February 7th, so the following one would be February 21st?
Yeah.
And do you want this to go to the Land Use Board for their, and are we going to,
I sent Tony and Wayne Wilbur courtesy copies anyway, because I mean, within.
but it's not something that they would need to adopt, they would just have to
No, I
offer
think
their,
it's good to have them input, and we've
Right.
been working pretty good with them.
Okay.
Of late, and so I wanted to keep that going.
and that would be the only reason? That gives them enough time to have a next meeting. Right.
Well, but it's a pump breaks, I don't want them to get no whole review of this, because there's some members on.
No, we don't have to.
It means just like a 30-page document.
We could also get some, get the draft out, together. Property owners and businesses.
I think Tony and Wayne take it.
So first reading with the second reading on the 21st of February,
Okay.
Unless you want to move it up to March, I think that's not,
or March, whatever you want, yeah, it's up to you guys.
well, I don't want to establish a date now, then we have to.
Right, you advertise, push back on one.
It's up to whatever you think, I mean, you seem to be hedging on it a little bit, so.
It's a new thing, Steve, and
And
I
if it's
just.
gonna go to the land use board,
Yeah, it's not.
we've been missing a lot, not having meetings, because there haven't been any.
I just know that we ended up carrying that security ordinance, if I recall, Wanda, like 2 or 3 times, because we were getting feedback. There were like a couple of attorneys from some of the bigger tenants and owners wanted to come and make some comments. They had meeting conflicts. So just with that in mind, maybe to the first meeting in March wouldn't be a bad idea.
When's our next meeting? You're not gonna cancel out?
No, we're out.
Or how? Okay.
It's up to you guys, whatever you want to do. I will also send it up to Frank Weasley.
Yeah, he's got it.
And who would be sending the draft copies to the property owners?
I don't know how we did that last time.
I don't recall doing it last time, to tell you the truth.
I'd work with Carrie and get that circulated to wherever you think of.
Yeah, I guess if we do March, that gives them time here.
All right, so we'll say March 7th?
Yep.
Okay. Who wants to move it?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Babinski, Slack,
Yes.
I'm sorry, Ortel, D'Angeli,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes. Okay, motion to execute the application of contract for funding from Southbourne Municipal Line. Motion for that?
We do every year, we do get some money.
Yeah, we're the host agency now, too, so I think we're gonna get a little bit more, right?
No.
We don't?
No.
We don't have stuff for Great. I'll move it.
Second.
Okay, Babinski, Ortel, Slack, D'Angeli,
Yes.
Kern.
Yes. Public comment, any public comment? Township?
I need to start with a question. I've heard it was considered by the council to do a timber harvest on council-owned property. Is that still a consideration?
There's nothing in
negotiations right now.
Okay, but I heard that the subject did come up. I would just like to, I've had a managed woodlot plan and worked with consulting foresters since 1985. I'd just like to share a couple things I've learned. First thing is, everybody wonders about forester and the cost. Yes, there is a cost, but it's usually worth every bit of it. Some are flexible. It can be done on an acre basis, an hourly basis, or if there is a timber harvest, on a percentage. And it's also recommended by the New Jersey Forestry Association to never conduct a timber harvest without the use of a consulting forester. And there's a few reasons for that. I jotted down some of what I thought of. The first consideration should be a plan for the future of the site as far as the long-term health and sustainability. What it's going to be like 10 years from now, 20 years from now. But forestry is a very long-term thing. What you do now can affect it for the rest of our lifetimes and the next generation's lifetime. So a few things they consider and take into consideration when you come up with a plan. One of them is existing species and composition of the trees you have on the site now. See what you have, what's doing well, and what's not. Site soil conditions and types. There's different types of soil are better suited to one tree. Conditions, well drained, not so well drained. The amount of sun exposure. The plants, they need sun to grow, so that's a great consideration as far as what type of tree you have, what tree you expect to have. Do you have a viable seed source if you should have a harvest? In other words, do you have beneficial trees coming back, or is this going to be filled up with invasives? Land disturbance from the harvest. Sometimes a logger will get in there with heavy equipment and they make a road here. If there's a little drainage ditch, they fill it in. Okay, guess what? Now you just turned that ditch into a mosquito pond. You're going to come back and fix that. And also the future plan or goals for the site. Is there going to be any forward management? Will anybody ever go back and do anything positive on the site? So that's all, a few things and many more should be taken into consideration when you come up with this plan, management plan for a harvest. Now, the benefits of a consulting forester, they should do this based on the best projected outcome for the site, so long term. In other words, you want to maintain as a forest, maintain healthy species. So they select trees based on that, what you have, what you hope to have in the future, and the seeds you need to have to obtain that in the future. They also have connections to the best markets for the species you have to be harvested. In other words, if you take any logger, you have primarily ash and tulip poplar, like is predominant around here. It may not be the best market for this mill. Somebody else, maybe upstate New York or western Pennsylvania, is paying a premium for that. The consulting forester will know that. He will get you the best deal. And before you enter into this, if you have a timber mark out, they'll go through there, and they can estimate the harvest quite accurately. They use what they call a tally sheet. They go through, look at the trees, put them down, how many board feet, what species it is. At the end of the day, they have a running total of white oak, maybe 370 board feet, by the species, and what it should bring at the mill. So you have that to base your decision on. It's not just, I think it's this, maybe that, so-and-so said it could be this. You have something in your hand to base the decision. And another thing they have is if you go with a contract, then they have leverage for site restoration. Because once that logger's in there, that little mosquito pond he created, when he's down the road with the last load of logs, he ain't coming back and fixing that. Is anybody else going to plant grass on that? He's not coming back. Is anybody going to go take the invasives out? He's not coming back. So that's one of the things that a forester can do that a lot of people don't think of, like myself. Before I got involved with forestry, I never thought of it. But there's many, many other things. Also, instead of a forester going in there with carte blanche and him picking what he wants, because let's be realistic, these guys are in the business to make money, not to benefit Blacktown Township. If a forester marks it out on a tally sheet, there's a mark up here on the tree, there's one at ground level. So when the harvest is done, that blue mark or that red mark or that yellow mark should match the tally sheet. So only the trees that he selected for harvest are taken, no more, no less. And his decisions are based on the seed source, the age of the tree, is it what, potential to be a timber tree, or is it a waste tree that's just going to take resources away from another one? That's what they base the mark out on. So there's many, many things that he can benefit the council and township residents. And without that, anything we mentioned could go the opposite way. It could go negatively without a consulting partner or someone on site to address those issues. So I just want to mention that for consideration, and if it should come up, I think it would be well worth having a consultant.
Thank
you.
Just by way of update to the council, I did follow up again with Jacob Pence, the title searcher that I asked. We don't even know if we can do it, because we're not sure whether or not any Green Acres funds were ever used to acquire that parcel. And it was acquired so long ago that I'm thinking it might not have been part of Green Acres acquisition, which would give us some flexibility to explore along the line we just talking about, that I think we set is very prudent. But until we know if we can do it, because we already talked to Green Acres, if Green Acres money was utilized, they seem to have some serious concerns about doing any type of engineering. So that's kind of where we are. But we will certainly, once we find out what we can do at all, we would certainly pursue some type of.
Right, I understand that. To be honest with you, I'm not familiar with the site, but, to have somebody evaluate the forester, it could be the best thing for the site, or it could be the worst thing for the site. But professional opinion would be, well worth it.
Absolutely.
Any other public comment?
Randy Melvin, Winners Road. This is in reference to Dave's comment regarding the Environmental Commission. It's just a coincidence that something came up today that you probably don't know about yet. During our meeting last month, we did really discuss about really getting on board in 2017 and trying to get the community somewhat involved. I'm not sure if the community even knows that we really exist. We talked about some different things, as Dave had said, a community day. However, something else has come up out of the clear blue today. Someone had called Les and then called me. She's the ambassador for the watershed, and yeah, watershed. And we had talked about doing a water barrel. A rain barrel class, like put a little booth up and have people come to learn how to put it together. And she had called and said that she's actually doing this. And so I'm thinking, well, this is pretty neat. Okay, we talked about this, and now she's calling us. She wasn't aware we were doing, had plans on doing anything. She's getting her rain barrels free from Coca-Cola Company. They're donating something like 45 rain barrels, not just for us, but for other workshops that she's going to be doing. So her thing is, though, she has to do this by June. So we couldn't wait until community October. So she is coming to the next environmental meeting, correct, Les? Environmental meeting? She's going to come to the next environmental meeting? Okay, and I don't know what the cost might be. I know there's a little cost for them shipping these barrels, so she's going to let us know. But we thought maybe we could do something like an Earth Day, maybe here at the municipal.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, if you guys can maybe discuss that, and maybe by the next meeting we'll have, or right after the next meeting, we can have something put together just to hand to you guys to show you, maybe to get an approval.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Kevin Melvin, 41 Winters Road. I agree. I think that's an excellent idea to involve the community. A couple items I just wanted to talk about. A couple comments and a question with regard to ordinance. So first, my comment with regard to Verizon. and this is just a general comment, when I read what was on the agenda, it seemed a little bit more overreaching than what was presented. To me, it sounded like what she had presented was more of a fact-finding mission to understand where those gaps were in bandwidth and such. And to this comment here, it looked like that everything was automatically granting them access to go ahead and do all this, despite her saying that we would get the necessary approvals, permits, yada, yada, yada. I always like to see that in writing. I'm sure Mr. Bembrick would agree with that.
Yeah, that was my concern, particularly with polls. I mean, there's not much we can do about a request to locate homes. It's just they kind of, there's really not much restriction put on that. But I am going to follow up. She mentioned franchise. I'm going to try to find out what our JCCNL franchise looks like, because I just want to make sure that if they ask JCCNL for a poll, the JCCNL has to run that by us, because you're right. That would be, I just don't want to see that, right, that center that was like lawn or something, that can be moved 20 feet and not be nice.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think the cause is a worthy one. I think it's beneficial. It's just I don't like to give people carte blanche.
And I think that was the county's concern, but I'll get to the bottom of that.
The next question I have is just with regard, I was interested in this ordinance 1702, and I went on the website and I got the links to the E-code. But with regard to finding out ordinances that are in process, where do they get posted and when? Do they get posted for the second time, or just
Once they get introduced, they'll be on the website.
Okay, so tonight this was introduced, then it'll go on to the website. Yep. It'll go under, there's a new page there?
Yep, it should go there, yep, that's
It also
correct.
has to be publicly advertised. That was Governor Christie's bill that got canned by the legislature, but we still have to actually physically advertise the entire ordinance or summary in the newspapers. And on this sticker, because it's kind of a new area, you put a second reading way out, so everybody gets a good look at it. Because it might be tweaked, I don't know.
Yeah, okay, excellent. And then my third comment is just a personal one. Our community has lost a treasure in Dot Weeder, and I had the privilege, and I think Rennie and I were both blessed getting the opportunity to know Dot, spend time with her over these last couple of years. So we're definitely mourning the loss of her. We did just see her this last weekend before she passed, and she's going to leave a big hole. And she was probably the most interesting person I've ever met, and I've encountered thousands of people of all walks of life, but I truly admired her and respected her and loved her. So I just wanted to share that, because I do think we lost a gem.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Seeing none, the executive session for actual personnel. Should take about 45 minutes, and action may or may not be taken. Motion for that?
Is there a second? Okay. Babinski? Ortel? Slack? Angeli? Kern?
Yes. Okay. I'm pretty good on Facebook. All right, is there a motion to come out of executive session?
All in favor?
Okay, a couple action items. Approve the police contract.
as, you know, I was to approve the, waste contract, subject, subject to the audit, everything we do.
I'll make that motion.
And that's from 2016 to the end of 2019.
4 years. One and a half, one and a half, I think, try to better contract, down salary lines, cut down vacation hires, eliminate longevity hires, so we're basically putting that contract in compliance with best practice gradually, and I think we're doing pretty good.
All right, so is there a motion? Someone made the motion, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Babinski, Ortell, Slack, Vangelli,
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
We need a motion from Judge Mayor.
Yeah, by resolution?
Well, we'll make a motion subject to, obviously, amendment, appropriate amendment of the salary resolution and ordinance as may be necessary to establish the judge's salary at $45,000, taking into account he's now taking over adjudication of the Greenwich portion of our court, which was previously adjudicated by a separate judge who's now done.
Have a motion for that?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Babinski,
Yes.
Ortell, Slack,
Yes.
Vangelli,
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
And we need a resolution pursuant to the fair and open procedures to appoint Tim Kyle as the township's planner for 2017.
So moved.
Okay, Babinski, Ortell, Slack,
Yes.
Vangelli,
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Finally, we have discussion personnel issues, generally concerning the finance office and the administrative office, and that review is ongoing.
I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
I don't think that legally